Hey everybody, guess what? It's the Kooks, Cranks, and Iconoclast podcast. I'm Matt. Hey everybody.
Who are you?
Hey everyone, it's Matt from the Kooks, Cranks, and Iconoclast podcast, and I'm over here with my only other brother in the world who gives an F about this S.
I don't say that.
Well, you're the only brother that gives...
I mean, I do the show with you, yeah.
Don't under or overrate Mike's enthusiasm.
No, I mean, I'm not saying our other brother, don't say he doesn't give a shit. He supports us.
It's just a fun thing to say. Yeah, he actually does listen to the show.
Thanks, by the way, for that.
Yeah.
Love you.
This is
a
pretty special episode because...
Yeah. Okay, so this is the start of the episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is our cold open.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy it.
This is take 537.
Roughly, yes.
I'm trying to remember the things I said before and haven't said before. Okay, so this is this is a bit of a special episode. We're doing this on the fly. We didn't know we were going to be recording today. We hope you enjoyed the
You're good.
Okay. We hope you enjoyed the little Dr. Seuss addendum that we threw at the beginning. We were going to originally do a whole episode on Dr. Seuss, but as I mentioned in the poetry, we're not going to force you to sit here and listen to me tell children's stories for
an hour
and a half. So instead, yes, thank you. I understand. Instead, for our kids episode, we're going to be covering a guy named Mad Sam Destefano. The story of a man many consider to be the most vicious in Chicago gangster history. Also, a devil worshiper, which you don't really hear about mafiosi as they're strictly usually Catholic, like Shiite Catholic, to quote that Big Baby man.
What a contrarian.
Yeah. But yes, once again, special episode. J-Lo couldn't be here today. Wish we had him. I needed him for that rhyme earlier, especially. There's a lot of things going on. Moving pieces, transitions taking place. We're just trying our damnedest to get an episode out to you every week still. So that's what we're concentrating on right now. And that's what brings us here today to cover Satanic Mafia Hitman, Mad Sam Destefano. Our sources today will be the Wikipedia page.
Obviously.
Because, as we all know, reality is dictated by Wikipedia. As well as an article from crimemagazine.com called Mad Sam Destefano, the Mob's Marquis de Sade. I also have to remember the jokes we made.
There was a lot.
I love how all the mafia guys have to have, Vinny Two-Tone or whatever. They all have the stupid names.
It's Tommy,
when
too much.
Like when they're handing out nicknames, it's like, your name is gonna be Jimmy the Wallpaper Corelli, and your name is gonna be Jimmy the Computer Monitor Corelli. And are you just giving out names of things you see around the room? Your name is going to be Tommy, shut the fuck up about my naming method, Corelli. You're all brothers.
You'll never be made.
So, yeah. When FBI agents and members of the Chicago Police Department's organized crime unit showed up to monitor the mourners at Mad Sam Destefano's funeral, they were disappointed, but not surprised. The quote-unquote puny turnout, which included a 10-car caravan to the cemetery, only amplified what law enforcement had known for years. Mad Sam was despised by everyone who knew him. Destefano was born... Yeah. To be... Once again, okay, I'm probably going to say that a lot because we've said all this shit before. We're getting it right this time, goddammit. God damn it! My vagina! Thank you. I'm calm now. Oh, Cheryl. Give me my coffee. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, so to be already a mafia guy with your wildly swinging moral compass of being a strict Catholic, as well as also being a fucking degenerate criminal, and for people to not like you, you probably have to be one of the biggest pieces of shit in the world. And, buddy, guess what? You're hanging out with the Kooks, Cranks, and Iconoclast podcast today, and sometimes we like to bring you some of the biggest pieces of shit in the world. As a matter of fact, don't hold me to this, but I'm toying around with an idea we may do for a sideshow that involves criminals. Once again, we're not a
crime show.
We're not a crime show, but I do love true crime. And man, some people are just such huge pieces of shit. You have to chop them up with a coat hanger to flush them down the toilet. Which is becoming a bit of a catchphrase of ours in the background. Anywho, we'll see about that. Anyways, Destefano was born in 1909. In what would prove to be a fitting start to his vicious criminal career, Destefano, at age 18, was convicted of raping a teenage girl and sent to prison for 3 years. Liner notes on this episode, once again, there was a lot of rape mentioned in the last go-around. We're talking about all the presidents that have raped or molested people. Well, I was.
I'm not as big as an aficionado on Grappe in the presidential White House.
Yeah. So, once again, this, what was that? Oh, okay, I thought you were playing like some... Okay, so some very strangely juxtaposed music to the topic at hand. Yeah, so less rape this episode. Now with less rape. 1932. As a member of Chicago's infamous 42 gang, which I assume had hundreds of people in it, he was shot during an attempted burglary of a grocery store. By 1933, he was back in prison, this time for robbing a bank in New Lisbon, Wisconsin. We don't know what the deal with Wisconsin gangsters are.
There's some, like,
cheesy mafia.
Yeah, there's like a nice off between Illinois and Wisconsin, and it's really weird. There's actually a guy that has...
Hey, jerk off! Where'd you get your suit? That's a nice suit. I really like that suit.
Oh, God! You know what? I forgot to pay my bill to that loan shark. I'm gonna have to go down, march down there, and pay that guy back.
Oh, buddy, I'm gonna have to break your legs now. Hey, man,
but that's okay. I'm gonna take you down to the hospital and throw you out a car. It'll be just fine.
We own that too. So business all around. What the fuck is going on
I don't
there?
know, man.
They should say instrumental on that shit.
Yeah, it needs to.
I mean, well, sometimes they do. But anywho,
once again, Matt draws everybody else sides.
No, it's fine. Like we said, this is also a bit of an experimental episode. We've got some new equipment we're playing around with. New capabilities that we're we've got our pretty new pet. We're like Jojo the Idiot Circus Boy, trying to figure out exactly how these levels work. No net.
Yep. No cap.
Yeah, cheesy mafia. That's where we left off. Destefano was captured while... Oh, God. See, what... I almost said once again. Mm-hmm. So we've read this several times. We've recorded this several times. But you know what? Still reading this article is going to fucking elicit chuckles from me. Some of these music choices are going to elicit chuckles from me.
I'm actively trying to draw Mike off sides, so...
This is our new format forever, by the way. Hope you enjoy it.
We have purposely...
No, it's hard to find suitable mafia-type background music in the what's the word I'm looking for here? The licenseless music site.
The royalty-free zone.
I would have used Louis Prima's "Just a Gigolo" because I love that song, but I think Suicide Squad beat me to it. So this will work. This has got a nice NPR.
KCI, the only podcast that plays lame white people music behind it.
Today on NPR, we're going to be talking about a satanic hitman by the name of Mad Sam Destefano.
Don't be afraid to get right up on that mic, Mike.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Like this?
Yeah, damn
like
near.
this. Okay.
So
no, I can't smoke.
Sure you can. You can do anything. I believe in you.
Reading Rainbow. I don't know how that blind guy from Star Trek reads all those books.
It's pretty insane. Excuse me. Man, I just we let off with the death of Destefano because we're gonna do some weird Pulp Fiction version of this, I guess.
Oh, but, like time cut, jump around.
But
Breaking Bad style.
He's buried at Queen of Heaven Cemetery, and
I couldn't think of a nicer
sounding place.
Yeah, for a complete fucking lunatic.
Yeah, you know,
like Sam Destefano.
The guy has a picture up on the Wikipedia page of his mugshot.
Yeah, he.
And
I never really stopped to look at it while we were recording, but
it must have been a hot day.
Yeah, he looks like a bucket of melted ice cream, with one eye open and one eye sort of open.
What do you mean I'm twice the legal Kermit? What?
What do you mean I'm too short to ride this ride?
So back to the beginning where it all began.
His death.
September 13th.
You may be wondering how I got here. Let's back up a moment. Okay, yes. Before we left off to mention his burial place, this is the road that took him there. Children, pay attention. Crime does not pay unless you're really good at not getting caught.
We do not advocate
the cool crime of being a mafia satanic hitman and sadistic piss ninja. We'll get into that. By 1933, he was back in prison, this time for robbing a bank in New Lisbon, Wisconsin. Destefano was captured while climbing a tree to escape after a getaway car broke down, and the robbers took off into the woods. He served 11 years before his release in 1944.
I think he confused what to do in case of a bear attack versus what to do in case the cops are after you.
Yeah.
Climbing up a tree is not the...
You gotta shit your pants and play dead.
Yeah.
When you get arrested by the police.
The first thing, that way you can claim pain and suffering and get $25,000 extra.
It's called punitive damages, motherfucker.
On your civil suit.
3 years later, he was in Leavenworth Federal Penitentiary, serving time for selling counterfeit sugar ration stamps. I don't know if... Yeah, that is a crime. I don't know if everyone remembers this dark time in history, but there was a man in Europe named Charlie Chaplin who was rounding up sugar packets and throwing them into the fireplace.
No mustache man, as they call him on other channels.
Mo Hailstone. While there, he met Chicago mob heavyweights Paul Ricca and Louis Campagna. I'm assuming that's how you say his name because it's spelled like champagne without an H and an A at the end. After his release, Destefano worked as a laborer for the city of Chicago. In 1949, he passed the civil service test to become a garbage dump foreman. Living the dream. Lying on the application about his criminal past. When the falsification was discovered in 1952, the city refused to file charges. Back in the day, you could pretty much just walk into a goddamn DMV and just make yourself a new identity. Didn't have the stringent checks and balances we have nowadays.
My new name is Rondell Charcuterie Board with a hyphen, the third. No, that's the name of our new in the field reporter. He'll be showing up at some point.
Yeah, he's a cryptobiological reporter.
Crypto vlogger.
Yeah, the level of ease one had with falsifying an identity back in the day was much greater. This is why you could have families all over town, even if they were, several blocks away, because they probably weren't going to come across each other, because people were stupid back then. No, they were probably just as smart as they are now, I'm sure. So he's living the dream as a garbage dump foreman. When the falsification was discovered in 1952, the city refused to file charges. Probably because most Chicago politicians back in the day were very busy with their mistresses, etc. Really corrupt place. In
Back
William,
then, not today.
Yeah.
Probably a pretty nice place now.
Show me the birth certificate. In William Brashler's The Dawn, The Life and Death of Sam Giancana, who, by the way, FYI, JFK's Eskimo brother.
Oh, dude, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. 6 degrees of 6th floor museum.
6 degrees of 6 doses of dong medication. I can't remember the joke I made last time. He gives this description of Destefano in his book. The mob was full of psychopaths and morons, and keeping order among them was a challenge to the mettle of any boss, be he an elderly don like Paul Rica, or a power broker like Giancana. Nobody tested the patience and discipline of both men more than Sam Destefano, a freelance juice loan operator and terrorist who was the preeminent clown prince of the Chicago outfit, just like Bismarck. A buffoon with no equal. He's either selling himself short or giving himself too much credit by saying a buffoon with no equal. So it's almost like, dude, I'm sure there's an equal. Don't
Yeah.
It's fine.
You just haven't met the right person yet.
That, or he's saying like, I'm the best buffoon. Nobody beats the best buffoon. Destefano, through the years, had somehow gained the favor of Rica and Giancana, a standing that kept him alive. For nobody made more enemies or talked louder than Sam Destefano, the Mad Hatter, which is another one of his nicknames I see them throwing around, but out of all the pictures I've seen, there's not a single one where he's wearing a goddamn hat. So, I don't know. Once again, it's like,
Maybe he loved Mercury.
hey, we're gonna need everyone for this job. We need Jimmy No Pants Pantaleones. That's a real Italian name. Played Ralph Cifaretto.
King Ralph?
No. You can't talk about like the mafia without like all the colored perceptions of shows like The Sopranos and Scorsese movies, etc. And as we progress through this story, you're going to be saying to yourself, why the fuck isn't this guy's story a movie yet? Because some of the crazy bullshit that happens, I can so see like the awesome, like, you know, stereotypical Scorsese jump cuts and like all the 60s music and like Rolling Stones playing in the background while Sam Destefano's answering the door with his dick hanging out.
We're actually I'm keeping a running tally of all the crimes this time, so we can
okay, so we can tabulate at the end and see how many years he should get. So back to the story. Destefano's brother Michael, who also worked for the city, developed a drug habit, and sources say Giancana wanted him out of the way. This was before, you know, all that Muerta shit goes out the window. As soon as you fucking do the wrong thing, and then it's your buddies and your friends who always end up whacking you. Murdering.
Often or whacking off.
Whack a guy off a guy, whack off a guy. When you grow up, you're gonna be beating guys off with both hands. Jesus. Sam carried out the murder himself by stabbing his brother to death. He then stripped the body and washed it with soap and water to cleanse his brother's soul. Jesus. I will never wash you.
But you will stab me.
Probably not.
Okay.
You're probably good. Although many people consider him crazy, Destefano was a sharp businessman. After a big score from a bank robbery in the early 1930s, he purchased an apartment building with 24 suites. He used the rent money to help support local politicians. Support, yes.
Yeah, to support.
Yeah. Super PAC. PAC stands for Paisano Acquired Credit. Over the years, His contributions increased, so did the number of people on Sam's payroll, which, in addition to political figures, included judges and police officers. By the mid-1950s, Destefano boasted that with his connections, there wasn't any case he couldn't fix. Standard fees for fixing cases were $1,500 for assault and $800 for robbery. He once fixed an open and shut first-degree murder indictment for $20,000. If it only cost $20,000 to get away with first-degree murder, I would have a better job.
Yeah, just for clarification, first degree means it was totally planned.
Yeah.
That was not
premeditated. You did that shit, no question.
$20,000 in the 50s.
Yeah. He became so well known to police officers who were on the take that it was not unusual for an arrested criminal to be driven to Sam's house, where the police would be paid off and the criminal freed and put on juice for the fix.
Was the juice worth the squeeze?
Is there such thing as a piss melon or
I don't know. We're about to find out.
It was said that if Destefano promised a fix, he delivered. If a defendant lost in court, Destefano paid the appeal cost out of his own pocket. By the late 1950s, though, Destefano knew the big dollars were in loan sharking, because anything involving sharks, box office draw. His clientele included borrowers from all levels of Chicago society. The upper levels included politicians and attorneys. While petty crooks borrowed money... I can hear my peas popping. Can you hear those?
No.
Okay, cool. I'm not popping my peas. Popping my peas.
Because these teas are popping.
By the late 1950s, though, Destefano knew the big dollars were in loan sharking. His clientele included borrowers from all levels of Chicago society. The upper levels included politicians and attorneys, while petty crooks borrowed money just to party for the evening or to cover an unexpected expense that came due. If you're borrowing money from a loan shark just to have a crazy cocaine night, you need to rethink everything you've ever thought about in your life.
So, I don't know if you guys know, but so your interest rate for a month on your credit card is anywhere, I mean, if you got bad credit, it's like 25% per month. This dude was charging
20 to 25%
a week.
With interest like that, I could just die.
In a basement.
Covered in piss. You might be asking why the piss. You'll see. You'll see.
It's called foreshadowing.
Yes. One collector was quoted, "I'd like to have $1 for every wife that set her husband up for me. Hell, I wouldn't have to worry anymore." So, although your wife can't testify against you in court, if you're being charged, she will blather it all through the streets. Especially if this is a Scorsese movie, I could see like all the wives, like, you know, in a fucking beauty parlor or some shit,
or like cutting carrots.
Yeah.
Making a nice mirepoix before they get the shallots shaved up.
Well, I don't know about you ladies, but Ralphie always likes it when they take a dump on his chest. So, you know,
he calls it a Cleveland steamer.
We're just good Catholics. We're just trying to do what we do to stay together. There are many stories about Destefano's viciousness. Peter Capoletti, man with the most Italian name I've heard in a while, who was one of his collectors, once took off with $25,000 of Sam's money. He was a fucking moron. Destefano found him in Milwaukee, back in Wisconsin,
having a nice off.
Brought him back to Chicago. He took him to Mario's restaurant in Cicero.
Oh my god, I love that restaurant.
Been there?
No. Oh, Mariano's is what I was thinking.
Oh, good. That's a chain.
Just trying to set the mood.
I think there's probably like a shit ton of Mario's restaurant in Cicero, which was owned by his brother, Mario Destefano. See how that works? In the basement, Destefano, his brother, and collectors Charles Cromaldi and Sam Gallo stripped Capoletti and handcuffed him to a hot radiator. Over the next 75 hours, Capoletti was brutally kicked and beaten. Sounds something like that, yeah. Destefano then decided to have a party at the restaurant while this was happening. The invitation list included judges, politicians, police officers, several of Sam's mob friends, and Miss Capoletti and her children. After dinner, Destefano made a speech in front of the group telling how Capoletti had stolen from him and what a big heart he had for letting him live. As he was expounding, Grimaldi, Gallo, and Mario Destefano went to the basement. There they gave Capoletti yet another... Yep. And then the three men urinated on him. When this was done, they took him upstairs just as Sam was completing his speech and pushed him, naked, burned, bloodied, and dripping with piss, into the room in front of his wife and children. That's bad. That's bad.
A little bit.
But then after that, old Mad Sam Destefano forced Capoletti's wife and children to also partake in the piss party that was currently taking place.
Oh my God.
Bring a poncho, it's a piss party.
I mean, that's just...
You know, at that point, like, it's like, I don't have a dad.
And then the
level of just
everybody pull
mortification.
Pull down your trousers because we're about to... And that's... How is this... Why is this happening? This would not be the first piss-related crime ever conducted by Mr. Destefano.
And it definitely won't be the last. I will say, hold on. Yeah, this is his brother's restaurant, too. So it's like, look, man, I get you want to piss on the guy like down in the basement, but like up here you got the health department. You know, you're just gonna come in here. Can't be having these piss parties all over the place up here where the food is not, you know.
The health department is all over my ass, and you're out here dragging a half-burned man for everyone to pee on.
Is it racist that we do like, well, that I'm doing like
a Chicago accent? Because that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's the Chicago dag.
I feel like, I mean, I'm not trying to like dog on Italians or anything. Just,
no, I mean,
I feel like it's one of the few like you can still get away with, so I'm gonna indulge. The vicious stories weren't limited to Destefano's criminal activities, although the story I'm about to tell you sounds very much like some criminal shit. Once, after an argument with his wife Anita, he went out and abducted a black gentleman off the street. Taking him home, he forced his wife Anita and the man to perform oral sex on each other at gunpoint.
Oh no.
I don't even know what interracial mafia cuck porn. That's a real niche market.
I would say so, just a little bit.
Well, I gotta go back to that piss party thing. Okay, so like your dad piss party. Bring a poncho. It's a piss party. So he invites the dude's wife to the Italian restaurant where they're beating her husband and pissing on him downstairs. So it's like he's got this party going on up top. I can just imagine like is that my husband yelling? What is that? What's that noise? You know, it's like, he's a jolly good fellow. Get the shit out of me. I don't know. Seems a little distracting.
A little bit.
In the wake of the 1957 Appalachian Conference, dickhead hypocrite Edgar Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover, began to focus on the organized crime problem in the United States. One of the objectives of his FBI agents was to turn members of organized crime into informants. This effort was called the Top Hoodlum Program. The man who gets the most mafiosi turn would get a pizza party. No. In Chicago, special FBI agents...
Mr. Edgar, we're getting reports from Chicago of pee-related crimes.
We better get that on video. For me to, I mean, I had to watch them, you know,
We need evidence.
I need evidence. Yeah.
Instead of that drawer, my lace. I mean, my.
I'm in no way going to take these home and further examine them for a little investigation. Oh. You people are real sports. Once again, we've done this so many times.
Crimes.
Okay.
Petty crimes. All right.
So, this effort was called the Top Hoodlum Program. In Chicago, regular agent William F. Romer, a 6'2" former Marine and 4-time boxing champ at Notre Dame, would try his hand at recruiting Destefano for this program, because obviously he was the perfect candidate for this program. You're gonna hear more about this William F. Romer guy, and much like us, you're going to dislike him the more you.
He loves coffee.
It's not even big things. It's just, you know, what little we know mentioned of him tells me right off the bat that this guy's probably a dickhead. So, Romer, who had a bit of an ego himself and later authored 5 books about the mob, 2 of which were fictionalized accounts, discussed Destefano in his first book. Can you guess the title? No? It was called Romer, Man Against the Mob. See, I told you he was a dickhead. This guy's got main character syndrome. He quotes, "About this time I got to know Mad Sam Destefano, the worst torturer murderer in the history of Chicago. He was a sadistic, arrogant, swaggering thug of the worst order, responsible for scores of killings, almost all by his own hands. I had a long series of confrontations with this beast, and looking back, I must admit I enjoyed every one." So yeah, if you can tell by the language this man employs and the title of his first book, bit of a dickhead.
A little bit.
Yeah. Loved a good cup of coffee, though. It's like that other FBI agent, D.B. Cooper from Twin Peaks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah. When Bill Romer first met Destefano,
he fell in love immediately.
at first sight.
He said, "That is my CI."
It truly was Beauty and the Beast. Because you called him a beast earlier. When Bill Romer first met Destefano, Romer went into his home to inquire about the murder of Arthur Adler, a local restaurant owner who fell behind in his loan shark payments. Romer was certain that Mad Sam had caused Adler's death. Destefano met Romer and his partner at the door wearing a pair of pajamas with the fly open and his cock hanging out. Also going to be a running theme.
Which was actually quite fashionable at the time.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
That's how they were doing it in Chicago back in the day. That was called the Breezy Richard, I believe. Because, it was a windy city.
Yeah.
Destefano walked around his mirrored living room. Like, God, that is such a Scorsese thing. Like, I can see it already. Anyways, Destefano walked around his mirrored living room, holding his penis and staring at it in the mirror. Then he would grab the head of his penis and open the urethra over and over and say, "Did somebody come to arrest me? I'm a fucking penis." No, he didn't do that. But wouldn't that be hilarious? I want to make this movie and just have like a series of outtakes.
Yeah, we would love to get the Kickstarter money to make.
Yeah, some of the insane shit that you will hear in the story later, like that, if you had heard those parts earlier before I said that, you might have actually believed that happened. I almost believe it. So, Romer blurted out, "You killed Artie Adler." This diverted Stefano's attention away from his penis, and he called for his wife, Anita, and his 3 children, and their friends to come downstairs. Once all assembled, he screamed at them, "These 2 gentlemen are FBI agents. They came out here to accuse me of murder. of killing Arthur Adler. I cry out to God up above. If I am guilty of killing Arthur Adler, may God come down right now and put cancer in the eyeballs of you and you and you, he shouted as he pumped his finger in each of one of their faces. This is such a Olivia Soprano, may God give me cancer right now. It's just so, oh man.
So intense.
Wow, this song is on here?
Yeah, and the weird part is, to de-escalate things, Destefano's wife would make coffee for the agents. And just, let's do a reset. Let's sit down, have some coffee, talk about it.
Yeah.
And while the coffee was being made, Destefano went into the coffee pot and, like so many others before him, pissed in that coffee pot and then served it to Romer and
his partner.
And that's when he said, "This is pretty good coffee. Where is this from?"
Yeah.
To which he replied, "It's a special Sicilian bean."
The monkeys, they eat the shit beans and they shit them out. And they make it a coffee out of the shit beans. It's a real thing. Shit coffee. Look it up.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah. As Romer and his son partner drove back to their office in complete silence, Romer decided he would attempt to turn Destefano, because once again, this is obviously the guy to go for. Romer subsequently made several return trips to Destefano's home. Each time, Sam's wife Anita would prepare breakfast and coffee for him.
that special Sicilian coffee.
Word of these morning meetings was passed on to street detectives, most likely from hoods who had heard about this directly from Destefano. One day, Romer received a call from Bill Duffy of the Chicago Police Department's Intelligence Division. Oxymoron, perhaps? "Romer," Duffy asked, "have you been going out to Sam Destefano's house?" Romer, who never discussed informants or people he was trying to turn, inquired, "Why do you ask, Bill?" To which he replied, "Because, you dumb shit, he's been pissing in your coffee." I love that little cello inflection at the end there. Oh, man. Yeah. In the movie version of this, as soon as Romer and his partner go out to the car, one would turn to the other and say, "Man, that was really good coffee. Say what you will about Mad Sam and his family, but they sure do make a mean cup of coffee."
I mean, why would he say he hopes his kids get eyeball cancer if he didn't do it? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Nothing dramatic about that at all. Charles Chucky Grimaldi worked as a juice collector in Anaheim, California during the Orange Famine of 1973. It has nothing to do with the rest of this story. No, a juice collector, debt collector, for Sam Destefano during the 1950s and 60s. He claimed that Sam pioneered, quote-unquote, organized loan sharking in Chicago. And because of his success, he had the permission of Anthony Accardo and Sam Giancana to stay independent. Grimaldi claimed Destefano could make loans any place in the city, irrespective of the jurisdiction allocated to the sharks who came after Sam had greased the skids.
Gross.
Very gross. Change your underpants, Sam. Destefano's independent status was confirmed by Romer, who wrote that Sam once told him that he was never a made guy because he could never submit to the discipline of the outfit. Yeah, that's why.
I would think so.
Yeah. Has nothing to do with all the horrible fucking torture, murder, devil worship.
I can look past you peeing and cups of coffee.
Piss ninja, crazy bug fuck horse shit.
I mean, if we're keeping a running tally there, Sam.
It's because he marches to the beat of his own drum. That's
of a
why.
satanic drum.
Grimaldi reported that one of Sam's pastimes was to drive along lonely country roads and look for burial grounds for his future victims. Tuesday night. We could bury a dozen guys there and nobody would ever find the smell of them. He would also, that's Sam. He would also go to pig farms and stare at the pigs for as long as an hour, contemplating how he would feed his victims to the pigs so he could destroy all the quote-unquote evidence. Hence the phrase, as greedy as your pig. That was my Michael Caine as Bricktop in Snatch rendition. Thank you. When Destefano... Thank you. When Destefano was upset, his face pinched up and his eyes narrowed. His voice became gravelly, and he spoke his words very slowly and punctuated his conversation with the filthiest profanity. In addition, Destefano's eyes bulged, his lips drew back to reveal an evil smile, and he would begin to drool. He was a cautious man, almost to the point of being eccentric. He once sent a gold watch engraved with "To Bob from Sam" as a gift to a politician who owed him several $100,000. He explained his reason for sending the watch this way. "That way, if we have to whack him, everybody will think that we're friends, and I won't draw no heat from the dead son of a bitch." That's a brilliant plan, actually.
See?
The bowling ball's name is Homer. The 5 feet, 11 inch, 165 pound Destefano took to wearing heavy black rimmed glasses, even though his eyesight was near perfect. He wanted people to think that when he took his glasses off, he was nearly blind. That way he could remove them and be able to observe all that went on around him without those present thinking that he could. It's actually pretty smart, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, if you're trying to make yourself look the part,
if I were a crazy mafia guy, I would fake being in a wheelchair. And then when people come up and talk to me...
Oh my God, Mikey, it's a fucking miracle. Shot. Or like, wait.
Like,
Yeah, then that happens.
like if the police show up at my house, I just go, "I have polio."
I got that Marco Polio syndrome.
Sweet, I have polio too. We should hang out. While he was in prison in Wisconsin for 11 years... boy. Prison in Wisconsin for 11 years. God, that's got to be...
Man. It might have been more interesting
Jesus.
than outside the prison.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, well, I'm bored. I guess I'll look out the window.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking somehow even more boring. No, I'm sure lots of cool shit happens in Wisconsin. Ed Gein, etc. That one infamous serial killer. Let's see. He could engage in endless arguments about the Bible's teachings and quote passages. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Okay, while he was in prison in Wisconsin for 11 years, the only reading material he had was a Bible and a dictionary. One of those books
is not like the other.
I was going to say a real page turner. The other one, not so much. Guess which is which. He'd engage in endless arguments about the Bible's teachings and quote long passages. What makes this so bizarre is that, according to Grimaldi, Destefano was a devil worshiper. To quote, "Sam was convinced that he was indeed Satan's disciple. When he was in trouble or getting heat, he would drop to his knees and pray. The ritual was always preceded by a violent rage, during which he would stomp the floor and swear endlessly. He seemed to lose contact with the world around him, and his anger propelled him through a series of spasms into some private hell where only he and the devil could enter. On all fours, he would smash his fists against the floor in frustration and rage. The drool would pour from his mouth in streams to form frothy puddles beneath his face. His gravelly voice would become a croak so guttural that his words were barely comprehensible. Once he had reached this state, he would pray to the devil."
Upon which we, with our re-engineering software, we thought we may be able to give you a small glimpse into there, at least on one end of the phone.
Cindy, hold my calls. I gotta take this. I'll push that 2 o'clock back, will you please? Also, oh god damn it, it's fucking Sam again. Oh, what now? Oh, look. Oh, somebody's having a temper tantrum. Well, maybe he... no, we're good. No. Hey, tell him I'm busy, and we'll do this another time. Thank you, Cindy.
Goddess mode?
Yeah.
It's not gonna... It's gonna give me it every time.
Yeah, it's weird.
So, imagine you're tied up in a fucking basement being torture murdered by a mafia hitman, And then he starts doing some weird fucking satanic ritual shit. I can't think of a shittier exclamation point to put on the end of "Please don't kill me." And plus, man, just it's already the oddest thing about him being a satanic hitman is that Italian mafia guys are like super Catholic, so it's all just it's an anomaly. In the early 1960s, one of Destefano's collectors, William Action Jackson, was indicted on hijacking charge. I think we missed this part last time. In an effort to receive a lighter sentence, Jackson was believed to be bargaining with the FBI. Although Bill Romer would deny that they had struck a deal with Jackson, Jackson was spotted meeting with agents in a Milwaukee restaurant owned by Louis Fazio, an acquaintance of Destefano. Oh boy. Later, Sam lured Jackson into a trap. Then he and his men tortured the 300-pound collector for 3 days until he finally died. Man, that's like 100 pounds a day.
Yeah.
That's tough work.
That's good division.
Thank you. I said I wasn't going to do any math this episode, but I made a liar of myself.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You're good.
Okay. Sorry, technical difficulties. One moment, folks. There. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
Sorry, we cut that up. God, man, like
This dude's a real jerk.
yeah. Oh, we'll get to that part. In 1963, Destefano got even with another of his collectors, Leo Foreman. Foreman was a granite of a man. I assume motherfucker looked just like the Thing. I guess that's what they mean. 6 feet, 2 inches tall, 275 pounds. What began the road to his demise was Destefano's receiving a minor traffic ticket. Instead of paying the fine, Sam went to trial where he knew Foreman was a friend of the judge. Well, I mean, most judges usually pick a foreman.
Correct.
Destefano enjoyed courtroom confrontations and often acted as his own attorney. My God, why is this not a movie? He always made sure his underlings were around to see his performance. See, I could see that making that all that much better, because when you're acting a fucking fool in court and you have your friends there, at least you can like turn over to your friends and like point at the judge and make the jerk off motion and shit. So yeah, it's good to have your own like Peanuts gallery there with you to laugh at everything.
You even have a guy doing the sketchboard of him doing it, with the lines from up and down.
Stenographer, can you read that back to me? Yeah, he said, "Fuck you, judge. You're a fucking retard." Jerk off motion with the hands. Hold on, wait.
In quotations.
I didn't hear him say. Who said jerk off motion with the hands? No, he made the jerk off motion with his hands. He didn't say jerk off motion with his hands. Well, then why did you write that? Well, you didn't see it, Judge, but he made it. Okay, I'm not going on.
It's pertinent information.
Yeah. I forgot that your story about he's a real jerk is not in this. So I don't know if you have that still handy. I have to pull that up here later too. In this case, his sneering courtroom antics caused him to be fined several $100s for contempt, even though he was found innocent of the traffic violation. When the decision was read, he went into a slobbering rage and cursed everyone in the courtroom. Being that he was a devil worshiper, I don't know if that means that he cursed at them like, "Hey, fuck you, jury," or "Hey, you got 7 days after you watch this video or you're going to die." So it could go either way. Not long after this... Oh, I'm sorry, no. Most of his anger was directed at Foreman. Not long after this, Destefano caught Foreman mishandling some of his money and declared a death sentence, or fatwa, on him. When Sam went to Foreman's office and confronted him with his evidence, Foreman admitted that he might have made some quote-unquote arithmetic mistakes, something you don't do with mob money. This Foreman guy sounds like a bit of a jackass as well. Destefano cursed at Foreman and growled, You think Action Jackson had it rough? You're gonna think what he would. Wait. Oh, sorry. You think Action Jackson had it rough? You're gonna think he was on a picnic. With this, Foreman pulled a gun and ordered Destefano out of his office. I don't know if we mentioned earlier, but what they did to Action Jackson was
not fun.
Yeah, they covered him in honey, and there was ants.
Yes, they buried him up to his neck, grizzled him in honey,
Yeah.
bake at 350, and dump ants all over him. And,
Repeat glaze.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it was like a picnic
for the ants.
for the ants.
Your ants at a picnic.
Where's your uncle? Who gives a shit? The cautious Foreman was able to avoid Sam's wrath for weeks until Mario tricked him into believing Sam was ready to let bygones be bygones. My God, Foreman, you fucking idiot. If Foreman helped fence a diamond theft and paid his debt back. On November 14th, 1963, Foreman was lulled into such a false sense of security that he was playing cards with Destefano in Sam's house. Shortly thereafter, Mario Destefano got Foreman to go down to his basement under the pretense of seeing his new bomb shelter. Once there, Mario and Grimaldi pulled guns and fired. Then Tony Spilotro, who was hiding in the basement, also stepped out and fired. So yeah, this Foreman guy stole money. Made some arithmetic mistakes.
Misappropriated funds.
That's an ugly, dirty word. The guy he fucked over, essentially, his brother comes over and says, hey, you fucked him over, but he's willing to let bygones be bygones if you help us sell these diamonds and pay him back. Also, come to my house and play cards. Also, hey, why don't you come down to the basement for a little bit, check out my bomb shelter.
In case the commies.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry to any of Foreman's living relatives, but maybe should have fucking known better. Maybe shouldn't have stolen money. Foreman's body was stuffed in the trunk of a car and found a few days later. Police evidence technicians vacuumed his clothing and discovered paint and wood chips embedded. My God, okay, I see where this is going. I mean, I know where it's going, but it just still fucking incenses me that this is, out of all the fucking insane horse shit that's already gone down, this is how they're going to get him. 7 years later, Mario sold his house. Investigators went in and were able to match the paint and wood chips they had saved since 1963 to similar material found in the basement, as well as blood specks. By this time, Grimaldi had become a government witness. With his grand jury testimony and the evidence, Sam and Mario Destefano and Anthony Spilotro were indicted for Foreman's murder. All three were released on bail. So, happy ending.
Looks like it, yeah.
Before the trial began, Destefano threatened Grimaldi in the courthouse elevator. Because of Sam's courtroom antics, the attorneys for both Spilotro and Mario filed motions to have their clients tried separately from Sam. Good call. Their motions were granted. During previous courtroom appearances, Sam had acted as his own attorney, once again, showing up at court wearing pajamas, cock hanging out. I'm assuming. I don't know. I mean, if he's wearing pajamas to court, he might as well just go the whole fucking nine and do his
Breezy Richard.
Do his whole shtick.
Yeah.
Yes, the Breezy Richard. He's also been brought into court in a wheelchair or on a stretcher. During one appearance, he used a bullhorn to make himself heard.
Yeah, right.
I'm fucking innocent over here. Oh, man.
Hey, yo, Judge. I'm trying to have a piss party over here, Judge. Ruining everything.
The trial of Spilotro and Mario was set to begin on April 30th, 1973. On Saturday morning, April 15th, Sam Destefano was sweeping out his garage. Although never proven, Bill Romer surmised, because he sounds like the type of dude who surmises things, the following. Spilotro and Mario drove to Sam's home to go over a plan to kill witness Charles Grimaldi. Getting out of the car, the two men approached Sam. Mario, in front, suddenly stepped aside, and Spilotro fired 2 blasts from a shotgun. The first hit Sam in the left arm, nearly severing it. The second... Thank you. The second blast... those are the top-notch production values you're going to get here at Kooks, Cranks, and Iconoclast, folks. The second blast hit him square in the chest. The devil-worshipping clown prince and Mad Hatter of the Chicago underworld was killed instantly. The fate so many of his victims had been denied. It's fucked up that he killed his brother and then his other brother was involved in his fucking... I mean, I guess it's poetic justice in a way.
Yeah. You know, we think it might have sounded a little bit like, hey, how you guys doing? Ow, my fucking arm. And they're like,
Yeah.
What did you do that
That's
for?
what most people say where they get their fucking arm severed by a shotgun.
And then it's like,
Ow, my fucking arm.
and then they're like, oh shit, hold on, we're getting there. Look,
That was an accident.
there it is.
Okay.
And then he fell down.
Sam fall down, go boom. Dude, like the bosses are talking about killing this guy. I can just like picture like, you know, I'm a little worried about this. What's his name? Crazy bugfuck shithead, sadistic piss ninja Sam. Yeah, I'm a little worried about this guy. He might talk in court. He might give away our counterfeit bullhorn situation we got going on.
He's been talking way too much about these piss parties. I'm really uncomfortable with that.
It's he's making us all look like clowns, like clown princes, like Mad Hatters.
Just a little bit.
Oh my god. Send me all of these so I can maybe splice some of the other jokes in too.
It's just to slow it down.
Yeah.
Anyways, we were keeping a running tally of crimes
That were at least mentioned in this.
that were at least mentioned.
Yeah.
So grocery store robber, Grape at 17, bank robbery 1933, tampering with evidence, loan sharking, assault, pee games, tampering with food. I don't know what else. This guy is dangerous. The one story that stuck out with me was aside from peeing and stuff, he actually took a 45 and put it in his wife's mouth. Or no, was it the opposite, right? Like he was tempting fate, right? Like daring her to pull the trigger and stuff to kill him. And she pulled the trigger because she got
and it wasn't loaded or whatever. And
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you want to fucking kill me?
Yeah, and then he had a good laugh about it, and it's like, I just realized she would have done it.
I just realized I'm fucking insane.
It's just ridiculous.
This article we read, by the way, is written by Alan May. Very good article. It covered a lot more of the satanic angle. We were trying to find more of that because we know you kids love Satan.
The phone calls, if I may, just real quick. We're going to check in down there in his office real quick and see what's going on.
Okay.
God damn it, Cindy. Why do you keep bringing me this paperwork? I'm so sick of TPS reports. Tell them that I am done, okay? I'm taking a vacation. I'm going to Mar-a-Lago, and I'm hanging out with my buddy, the Dawn.
Whoa, that was weird.
Yeah.
He's having a rough day.
Satan's a real TCB kind of guy.
Yeah.
The country's best yogurt.
Yeah.
I would want it too if I were in hell. Shit. Yeah. This is going to be a weird episode
It is.
because I have a feeling that I'm going to be splicing together several episodes. You may know that now already, dear listener. But, like we said, this is there's a lot of moving parts right now. A lot of things up
Yeah.
in the air. Just shit going on. People have lives. Some people don't. Some people have stomach parasites. Some people don't.
It's like that song from
I mean, none of us do. But I mean, I'm just illustrating.
the
You know,
song.
things happen. We also would like to give a few shout outs to some of our Facebook followers. I think we finally got our socials
At least somewhat squared away.
rigmarole
Yeah.
squared away. Yeah, it's been a whole thing. Like, we'd rather not even use it, to be honest. I mean,
I'm very grateful
FFB.
for your
but we do appreciate you guys showing out for us. Big ups to all the people outside of America for listening to our podcast. Got a couple names we're gonna give some shout outs to here. Let me see if I can
Yeah, I know. There's a lot. That's a lot. Kimberly Moore, thank you.
Sierra Timms. Is that what that says?
It looks like Clara Timms.
Clara Timms. Sorry. Claritin. Clara Timms.
Frederick Frey, what's going on, man? Thank you.
Freddie.
Antonio Avellino, you're rocking.
Love Maine.
Andrew Sherman, Mabel, out there in Ireland. Good job.
Cedric.
I hope you're enjoying that GAA World Finals
What does that
Dublin
say?
win.
Cedric what?
Cedric Joubert,
Cedric Joubert. Thank you, sir.
Alexander Staples, Cindy Ford. All right.
Dan Benjamin.
Thanks again. If you guys like hearing your name on our show, then follow us on Facebook and we'll give you a little shout out.
Yeah. And then you can tell your friends, hey, I was on Spotify and I didn't have to do shit except,
Follow this show.
Yeah. It's just a click and a hump.
A little bit.
So, once again, thanks for coming out. Thanks for listening. This will be a strange one. We're in a bit of a transition right now. We didn't even know we'd be recording today. The opportunity just kind of presented itself. And
Yeah, it's
we're trying to get ahead of the curve, so to speak. I do believe, I may be wrong, call me crazy, this might actually be I think this is our season 3 finale.
Yeah.
So next time you hear from us, it will be season 4. And if I have my way, which sometimes happens, if I can coerce these two guys into...
That's both of us, yeah.
Yeah. into playing along. It's going to be a big one. It's going to have some heavy shit. It's going to cover a lot of stuff that we've talked about already, or at least come back to. It's going to tie a lot of things together. But
So
there
get
will be
some red string.
Yeah, there will be some bombshell shit in there. There'll be some weird shit in there because we love to bring you the weird. Keep it weird, folks. Yeah. So I guess I've rambled long enough. You got anything else to add?
I really appreciate everybody sticking with us. More to come. Season 4 coming up real soon.
Yeah. Check out our Facebook at. Can you bring that back up?
At Facebook.
Yeah.
The Kooks, Cranks, and Iconoclast podcast page on Facebook.
Yeah. Or check out our website at kooks-cranks-iconoclast.com. Or send us a email if you prefer at KCandIcast, KCANDI @gmail.com. That's gonna be it from us today. We hope you enjoyed. Once again, thanks for sticking with us. We're doing this by the seat of our pants, and but we'll be a little more stable next time, hopefully. And yeah, I'm Mike.
I'm Matt.
And this has been the Kooks, Cranks, and Iconoclast podcast.
And for J-Lo and Cheryl.
And J-Lo and Cheryl. Happy birthday, Dad. Love you.
Fun on a bun.
See
We're
you
out.
next time.